All right, good morning and welcome to Iyun with Benzion, Yevamos Daf Chavches number 28. I have a great Iyun for you share for you today. We're going to discuss what the Gemara is discussing over here is Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan finds our Mishnah. He can't figure out how our Mishnah makes any sense. Rabbi Yochanan. He says, "Any odea Mishnah." That's the maskana of the Gemara. I don't know which Tana taught our Mishnah. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. The Mishnah. What's the problem with the Mishnah? The problem with the Mishnah on Daf Chavav is we're talking about two sisters, right? That fall are married to Reuven and Shimon, and then there's two other brothers, Levi and Yehuda. Reuven and Shimon die. That leaves Levi and Yehuda with two sisters, and it's called Achos Zikukaso. Rabbi Yochanan and Rav had a machlokas we discussed yesterday. Rabbi Yochanan's shita is that as long as there was a het there, and then it comes aser, it's chozer l'teira rishon. It could go back to the original het there. So what would be the nafkamina? The nafkamina in a case where you have once Reuven dies. Now, when Reuven dies, Levi and Yehuda have one sister. It's not considered achos ukosa. There's only one sister. You're allowed to marry one sister. So they choose hetera. Then, before anyone did anything, the second sister fell, which creates achos ukosa. That means it became asr. And then something else happens, which would matir one of the remaining. You remove the achos ukosa. So the question the Gemara asks on the bottom of Chazayim Abbey is, according to Rabbi Yochanan, why don't we just do one of them do chalitza to the second one, who is always asr? She could marry mutter according to Rabbi Yochanan. And then the first one could be hutra v'asr v'chazer v'hutra. Once the first one does paka, he does chalitza to the second one. So therefore, the zika is broken with her. So there's only one sister around. The second brother, Yehuda, who did chalitza, he can't marry the other sister because it's called achas chalitza, so the sister of the woman he did chalitza to. But Levi, who didn't do any chalitza, he can marry her. Why can't he marry her? Hutra, asra, v'chazra, v'hutra. As she gave mutter. Based on that, Rabbi Yochanan concludes, and the Maskana of Gemara, he doesn't know Mishnah. So the question I have is like this: so who is Rabbi Yochanan going like? If the Mishnah is a Tanakama, the Gemara states the opinion of Rebbe Lezer, but the main Tanakama, the sheet of the Tanakama, and even Rebbe Lezer basically says Beis Hillel paskins that you have to be motzi. If you do that, you do violate achos ukas, you miyabim the woman that you're not allowed to marry. So, who is our Mishnah like? If our Mishnah doesn't make any sense, Rabbi Yochanan, where does Rabbi Yochanan find a Tanaic source? Where does he find source for his ruling? And I believe the answer to this is a very, very precise diuk, an inference from the Mishnah. The Mishnah says on Chavav and Aleph, what happens if they do marry? So the Gemara Tanakama says, Lezer Omer B'Shamay Yikayim, B'Shamay says Yikayim, singular. It doesn't say Yotzi, right? We're talking about two brothers. They both had achas ukas and they both married, right? So you have to be motzi according to Tanakama, and Beis Hillel also Yotziu. They have to both get rid of her. Beis Shammai says Yikayim. Now the Brisa, which quotes a similar thing on Daf Chav Chesam and Aleph, Tanya, it's a Brisa, not our Mishnah. Lezer Omer Beis Shammai Yikaimu with a vav. They say Yikaimu. They can both stay married, and all the other opinions on this Brisa all say Yikaimu or Yotziu, plural. The only time which says singular is Beis Shammai Omer Yikayim in the Mishnah. Obviously, the Masoros Hashas notes this, and in footnote number Zion on the Mishnah says Sarah Klomer Yikaimu. We switch it to Yikaimu. It doesn't make any sense. But I want to say no, it does make sense. There's a specific reason why it says Yikayim. Because Beis Shammai, what's the reason Beis Shammai says Yikayim? That you could marry, you could stay married to her. That's what he's saying over here. Maybe he's saying that the case would be like this case where you do one chalitza, Ikayim, meaning what case would be, it doesn't say who did what first, Levi and Yehuda, who was machnis, did yibum to which sister first, doesn't. But if, let's say, one of them did chalitza, or one of them died, one of them chalitza, right? We were talking about one of them chalitza over, one of them chalitza, let Yehuda do chalitza, like the Gemara asks. And then Levi can marry the other sister because no longer achas ukoso. So maybe that's the svara of the Mishnah. Beis Shammai Yikayim, right? It would be Beis Shammai, because we even hold that Beis Shammai really holds according to a lot of opinions, two opinions on Daf Chav Ches, that they actually yotziu. So how would we resolve this? Maybe we resolve it that Beis Shammai says no. They only agree. This would be the halacha. They only agree in that case. Rabbi Yochanan case. In that case, they would be mekayim. He would be mekayim. He could be mekayim because you did chalitza to one of them. Now, this should align with Rabbi Yochanan. It should align with Rabbi Yochanan, but it's talking. It could mean either one. It could mean either case. So, Rav argued on Rabbi Yochanan. Rav says on Chav Zayin Amud Beis. Rav says. He says on mutter either way, as long as either way you did chalitza to one of them. Either brother did chalitza, even if there was no heter originally. It was an isser, right? Even if the first brother Levi does chalitza, then Yehuda would be able to do yibum to the second one because it's chazra. You don't need a hutra the asra v'chazra le'teir arishon. Just once there's asra v'hutra, then it's okay also according to Rav. So Rav would make sense according to the Mishnah because the case of the Mishnah obviously doesn't say which one did first. It says they were machnes. So it could be either one was machnes first. So that would make sense according to Rav. Rav would understand the Mishnah, and that's what understands Shitas Beis Shammai. Yikayim could be Mekayim. But that's the problem Rabbi Yochanan had. Rabbi Yochanan's exact problem is that Yikayim can't apply in both cases. It only can apply in one case, in Chalitza. And that's Beis Shammai saying. Beis Shammai is saying, and it could be Beis Shammai would agree, Beis Shammai would say that Yikayim only, they would agree with Beis Hillel, only if they did it in this way where it's where you remove the head, where one did the chalitza, then matter the other one. So if that were the case, so then our Mishnah would fit with Rav, but it wouldn't fit with Rabbi Yochanan. So where does Rabbi Yochanan learn from? Rabbi Yochanan has a brisa. That's why it's a brisa. It's not a Mishnah. Rabbi Lezer Omer Beis Shammai Yikaimu, right? Beis Shammai says Yikaimu. It's a totally different svarim Beis Shammai. It's not because one did chalitza and therefore they remove the achos of the the other one can jump in and do yibum, which will work according to Rav no matter what. Beis Shammai Omer Yikaimu. For a different reason, a totally different reason. Because the whole Achaz U'Kazo is only, like I explained before in the Mishnah, Achaz U'Kazo is only the Rabbanan. So therefore, B'di'evet, they weren't, Beis Shammai holds, we don't force them, we don't give an Eitzah to get rid of his wife. And Mitzvah argues on that. It's totally different machlokas. The Brisa is talking about B'di'evet or not B'di'evet, and the Mishnah was also talking about Beis Shammai only allowed you, not because they really allowed it's B'di'evet. B'di'evet, they would force you to do it if you did the wrong way. Because you did it in the right way, you did Chalitza to one, and the other one is Pakal Achaz U'Kazo, and the other one did Yibum. So then he's Yekayim, one of them could be Mekayim, and it would be either way. So it only fit according to Rav, wouldn't fit according to Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan would have to learn like the Brisa, in which case a different explanation to Machlokes Beis Shammai. So hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in Mishnah Yevamos.